Imagine fighting for 10 years in a brutal war, surviving battles, loss, triumph, and chaos, and then setting sail for home only to face 10 more years of struggle, danger, tests, and temptation before finally returning to the life you long for. Imagine wanting nothing more than peace, but being forced to earn it through relentless perseverance. That is the journey of Odysseus in the Odyssey by Homer, one of the most influential and timeless adventure stories ever written. It is a story about the strength of the human spirit, the cost of pride, the power of loyalty, and the endurance required to reach home not just physically, but spiritually. More than a tale of monsters, gods, and storms, the Odyssey is a story about identity, resilience, leadership, and what it means to never give up. The Odyssey begins after the fall of Troy. The long and devastating Trojan War has ended, and the Greek hero Odysseus is ready to return home to his kingdom of Ithaca, where his wife Penelope and his young son Telemachus wait for him. But the journey home does not unfold as expected. Instead of a quick return, Odysseus encounters challenge after challenge, each testing his intelligence, courage, and determination. He faces storms sent by gods, enemies seeking vengeance, temptation from powerful figures, terrifying creatures, and impossible choices. The world seems determined to break him. But Odysseus is defined by a single unwavering mission: to get home. One of the central themes of the Odyssey is leadership and intelligence. Unlike Achilles, the hero of the Iliad, who relied on physical strength, Odysseus relies on cunning. His greatest weapon is not force, but strategy, creativity, and clever problem-solving. The most famous example appears early in his journey, when Odysseus and his men become trapped in the cave of the Cyclops Polyphemus, a monstrous, one-eyed giant who begins killing and eating Odysseus's crew. Escape seems impossible. But Odysseus devise un plan. He tells the Cyclops his name is nobody. He offers him wine until he collapses drunk. Then he blinds the monster with a sharpened stake. When the Cyclops screams for help, he says nobody is attacking him, so the other giants ignore him. Odysseus and his men escape by hiding beneath the sheep as they are let out of the cave. This scene demonstrates Odysseus's greatest strength. Intelligence is more powerful than brute force, but the story also teaches that intelligence without humility can be dangerous. As Odysseus sails away, instead of escaping silently, he reveals his true name out of pride. The Cyclops curses him and calls upon the god Poseidon to punish him. This moment of arrogance becomes the reason Odysseus spends 10 more years wandering the sea. One careless act condemns him and his crew. Homer uses this to warn that pride can destroy even the strongest leaders. Victory is not complete until arrogance is conquered. Throughout his journey, Odysseus encounters temptation and distraction. He and his crew face the seductive songs of the sirens, whose beautiful voices lure sailors to their deaths. Knowing the danger, Odysseus orders his crew to plug their ears with beeswax and tie him tightly to the mast, instructing them not to free him no matter what he says. This moment illustrates another theme. Wisdom means preparing for weakness rather than pretending it does not exist. Odysseus knows he is vulnerable and creates a strategy to protect himself. Strength does not mean resisting temptation alone. It means designing systems that help you survive it. Odysseus also encounters the witch Circe, who transforms his men into animals. He faces the deadly monsters Scylla and Charybdis. One, a creature with 6 heads who devours sailors. The other, a whirlpool that destroys ships entirely. In one of the most difficult decisions of his journey, Odysseus steers towards Scylla, sacrificing 6 of his men instead of risking the entire crew to Charybdis. It is a brutal lesson in leadership. Sometimes there are no good choices, only necessary ones. Not all obstacles come from monsters. Many come from comfort and distraction. At one point, Odysseus is trapped for years on the island of Calypso, a goddess who offers him immortality if he stays with her. She promises luxury, safety, and eternal youth. But Odysseus refuses. He understands that a life without purpose, challenge, or identity is not life at all. He chooses hardship over comfort because home, meaning, and love matter more than pleasure. The Odyssey reminds us that ease is one of the most dangerous traps we face. Comfort can be more damaging to ambition than fear or pain. Many people today are trapped not by failure, but by convenience. Meanwhile, in Ithaca, Penelope and Telemachus fight their own battles. They endure doubt, pressure, manipulation, and the constant threat that the kingdom will be stolen. Penelope uses intelligence equal to Odysseus's. She delays choosing a suitor by weaving a burial shroud during the day and unraveling it at night. Her perseverance mirrors Odysseus's journey. Halting decay is its own kind of heroism. Telemachus searches for information about his father and grows into a leader. The Odyssey reminds us that struggle shapes identity. One of the most symbolic moments of the story occurs when Odysseus descends into the underworld to speak to the prophet Tiresias. This journey represents confronting the darkness within, facing the truth, and receiving painful insight. Every great journey requires an inner confrontation. Tiresias warns Odysseus not to harm the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios. But despite his warnings, Odysseus's crew disobeys, eating the forbidden cattle, resulting in Zeus destroying their ship. Odysseus alone survives. This tragedy reinforces another theme. A leader is only as strong as the discipline of his team. Success is destroyed when people sacrifice long-term gain for short-term comfort. Finally, after years of suffering, Odysseus returns home disguised as a beggar. He studies the suitors before revealing himself. Only after proving his identity by stringing his bow does he reclaim his place. He and Telemachus defeat the suitors and restore justice. But the return is not about victory. It is about transformation. Odysseus left as a warrior and returned as a wiser, humbler, more grounded leader. The journey changed him. The Odyssey is more than an epic. It is a metaphor for every long, difficult goal worth pursuing. Odysseus's monsters symbolize challenges faced by all people. The Cyclops represent short-sighted thinking. The Sirens represent distraction, disguised as opportunity. Circe represents comfort that dissolves ambition. Scylla and Charybdis represent unavoidable trade-offs. The suitors represent pressure from others to compromise values. Ithaca represents purpose. The big takeaway is this: the journey shapes the hero more than the destination. In life, goals take longer than expected. Obstacles appear without warning. Plans fall apart. People betray us. Circumstances shift, and progress slows. The Odyssey teaches that persistence matters more than speed, and resilience matters more than luck. A hero is not the strongest. A hero is the one who refuses to quit. You may feel lost at sea, facing storms beyond your control, but persistence is the compass that leads you home. So what lesson stands out most to you? Is it the danger of pride, the importance of strategy, the strength of loyalty, or the power of perseverance? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this summary, like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and tap the bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives into life-changing books and classics. Remember, the storms do not break you. They build you. Every setback is preparation. And every step, no matter how painful, brings you closer to your Ithaca.